I will start my reading practice from the book Effective Public Speaking by Dale Carnegie. Even such accomplished speakers as Webster, Bright, Gladstone, with their admirable command of the English language, felt it necessary to write down and all but memorize the exact words of their closings. The beginner, if he follows in their footsteps, will seldom have cause to regret it. He ought to know very definitely with what ideas he is going to close. He ought to rehearse the ending several tunes using not necessarily the same phraseology during each repetition, but putting the thoughts definitely into words. An extemporaneous talk during the process of delivery sometimes has to be altered very materially, has to be cut and slashed to meet unforeseen developments, to harmonize with the reactions of one's hearers. So it is really wise to have two or three closings planned. If one does not fit, another may. Some speakers never get to the end at all. Along in the middle of their journey, they begin to sputter and misfire like an engine when the gasoline supply is about exhausted. After a few desperate lunges, they come to a complete standstill, a breakdown. They need, of course, better preparation, more practice, more gasoline in the tank. Many novices stop too abruptly. Their method of closing lacks smoothness, lacks finish. Properly speaking, they have no close, they merely cease suddenly, jerkily. The effect is unpleasant, amateurish. It is as if a friend in a social conversation were to break off brusquely and dart out of the room without a graceful leave taking. No less a speaker than Lincoln made that mistake in the original draft of his first inaugural. That speech was delivered at a tense time. The black storm clouds of dissension and hatred were already milling overhead. A few weeks later, the cyclone of blood and destruction burst upon the nation. Lincoln, addressing his closing words to the people of the South, had intended to end in this fashion. In your hands, my dissatisfied fellow countrymen, and not in the mine, is a momentous issue of the Civil War. The government will not assail you. You can have no conflict without being yourselves the aggressors. You have no oath registered in heaven to destroy the government, while I have a most solemn one to preserve, protect, and defend it. You can forbear the assault upon it. I cannot shrink from the defense of it. With you and not with me is a solemn question of shall it be peace or a sword? He submitted his speech to Secretary Seward. Seward quite appropriately pointed out the ending was too blunt, too abrupt, too provocative. So Seward himself tried his hand at a closing. In fact, he wrote two. Lincoln accepted one of them and used it with slight modifications in place of the last three sentences of the clause he had originally prepared. The result was that his first inaugural address now lost its provocative abruptness and rose to a climax of friendliness, of sheer beauty and poetical eloquence. I am loath to close. We are not enemies but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic cords of memory stretching from every battlefield and patriot's grave to every living heart and hearthstone all over this broad land will swell the course of the Union when again touched as surely they will be by the better angel of our nature. How can a beginner develop the proper feeling for the close of an address? By mechanical rules. No, like culture, it is too delicate for that. It must be a matter of sensing, almost of intuition, unless a speaker can feel when it is done harmoniously, adroitly. How can he himself hope to do it? Thank you. That's it for the day.